Like, it's not like you don't know. You're live. Yay. Hey guys, good morning. Oops, whoa, really right. We've invited you into our boudoir and we're having coffee. So isn't this twisted way to start out your Sunday morning? Huh? Oops. Long story short is, hey, I'm Amber Bradshaw.
And I'm Timmy.
He doesn't talk like that. Tim. Or several other words.
Big T.
What are you drinking? Seriously. Anyways, unfortunately, this is where our computer is. So this is where you join us for coffee. But anyways, we just chit chat, talk about our off-grid homesteading life in general, and have coffee with friends and family. So we're bringing you along. Good morning, Tammy. How are you, sister? Tammy, I've been talking to Tammy, chit-chatting back and forth because I've been up really early getting the lessons done. I need to get back into that. Tammy wakes up really early just to have some peace. She's got a house full of youngins. Ooh. And they're older, they're teen and stuff, but or do you have tween and teen? And then some older boys, but still it's nice to have that time just to be silent. Yeah. And I need to get back to waking up early before everybody else does because I do, but I stay in bed on my phone looking at the news and everything and social media and things that aren't productive. But I was
social media anymore.
Well, I mean, if you consider, for instance, my Mighty Networks, our own social media, it's still social media. And then I'm on Telegram to find out how the world is falling apart. And that's social media. It's not very social, though. You don't chat with anybody. You just read all the headlines. But anyhow, I was thinking today about our YouTube channel, and which is what this is, because it's the only way I could figure out to stream live in several different places without being under their censorship, which I'm already censored on Facebook. We're not even allowed to go live there anymore. I think I shared something about Facebook fact checkers, and that's what got me in trouble this time.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, if I'm going to get in trouble, I want it to be for something really good.
They put the thumb on you.
Not even the like one either. I was thinking this morning, though, in order to do YouTube to get more followers, you have to have SEO, which are keywords that people would look up to find your channel. And I can't even describe our coffee chat other than it's, being social. That's it. Because I was thinking, we don't have any family here. We don't have any friends that we get together with. This is our only time that we talk to other people other than going to the store. And in a world where everything is closed down and they're keeping you at a social distance, which is really what they're doing. They're not just asking you to social distance for your safety. They're keeping you at a social distance to create division. And this, I think, is our only way to have it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there.
To bring us together. And
they don't want us together.
No, because then we talk, and we talk about all the chaos that they're creating. Hang on just a second. She goes, at home is 22, 19, 15, 14, 12, and 11. Oh, good gravy. It also helps to have likes on the videos. Oh, yeah, Tammy does. It helps to have likes and then actual social interaction. So if anybody makes comments, things of that nature. Oh, wait, Morgan is just getting up. Whoa. Morgan's not here, y'all. I don't think we talked about that. We were going to do it. Good morning. Hi. What is on your head?
It's a unicorn.
Lyndon, say hi.
Hi.
Good morning. Bend down a little bit. It's funny. I got the. Will you go see if there's any balloons? But we're gonna have coffee and do our social.
You're matchy.
Yeah. Did you eat up? Did you blow them all up?
No, I just don't know where they are.
Okay. Well, we'll look after a while. Go ahead and get you something to eat. Sit by the fire. No, I just told her to come in a little bit.
She just got up.
So we haven't even talked to y'all since last Sunday. So much has happened in a week.
Yeah, your mom's here.
Are you just going to jump right to the punchline? Why do you do that? Sunday. Last Sunday after our live, we packed up and moved Morgan to her new place. There was no power or water yet because, it was a Sunday and she just got the keys Saturday. And it's been a very long, emotional week. Lots of ups and downs. Sunday, as soon as Morgan's packing, and right about then, we have Lyndon come running in the room saying Cass had her baby goats. And she is a Nigerian dwarf goat. She's tiny. And she had five goats. She has 2 teats, 5 babies. She was so busy caring for 3 of them, 2 of them she didn't take the sack off of. We were going to intervene and then we're stopped because she looked like she was doing her job. And then we went back out and she didn't. So then I'm out there. Let's see what happened in the middle of all this. Did the dogs do their thing first before Cascade babies or after? When Aslan and Sadie took off after John, and then I'm screaming because we said some people had our dogs again.
I don't know. I can't remember.
So we're emotional. We're emotional anyways because Morgan's moving out and we didn't want her to. We're happy for her, but we thought that she would always build here, and she may. She's 19. She has the world to figure out yet. You know what I'm saying? But it just happened out of the blue. It was like boom. It was like instant. Matter of fact, Thursday we found a place that was vacant. She started moving in Saturday and Sunday. That's how quick the decision was. We weren't ready. I sure wasn't ready. But so we have that stress and tension and anxiety and issues. And then I couldn't find Aslan, and I heard him like active barking, like on duty barking. And I was like, couldn't call him back. And then I'm hollering for him, and I swear I heard a woman yell, "He's over here." And then Sadie took off, and then I'm yelling at Timmy to go get our dogs. That people are on our property. Well, there's a 4-wheel path that kind of encompasses our entire property. And the previous owners, like from way back in the day, they have sold off the bits and pieces of the family land. And our almost 47 acres was part of that. Well, they created a 4-wheel trail that went around it, and they still use it. And it touches our property, but it's not on our property. Well, then anybody looking at the land that they've divided over the years, or even when they have family members, think that trail is like a hiking trail that encompasses our property. And some of it actually does touch it. I don't think it crosses it. Yeah, no, it does, because they used to drive it up around and through our road and back to the front. So they just think it's a trail, and they come on it more often than I care to admit. And our dogs that are used to protecting us don't know the property line. And so they hear people and they go. So then we have that. And then we're trying to get the dogs back. And then I'm out there giving mouth to mouth to a dead goat. And then the wind starts picking up. Timmy's got insulation and everything out there for construction. And it's chaotic. It's crazy. It's nonstop. It's like that all the time. And we're having to bury goats and then hurry up and pack Morgan up and take her to her new place. And it's just a lot.
I was just kidding. I wasn't sleeping. I was actually helping.
Do you think people think you were sleeping when I was out there dealing with all that?
He never knew.
I did cuss him out just a little bit, though.
Probably needed a nap.
You did need a nap.
And
because you were kind of ugly. You didn't want to go get our dogs back.
Yeah, I've gone that route before, down and back up the mountain, and
doesn't change our responsibility.
Yeah, and it's really hard.
It's tough.
It takes a
it's
lot.
Up and down a mountain. I have to roll.
When you tie up 2 dogs and have to drag them, basically,
Well, Sadie, she just gimps back, but you would have to drag Aslan. It's still problematic. It's one of our issues that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
It's just part of this life. You can sit there. Well, you should have done this. Yeah, I know. Doesn't change the fact that I ain't done. And that's kind of what it is on the homestead. I was telling somebody last night. Did I tell somebody? Or it might have been this morning. I was texting a friend of mine. And I said, it's not even that we can't even make any progress on the homestead. We just put out fires. That's how it feels like. We put out fires and maintain. And the moments that we can make progress, it's for minutes at a time. And so that's problematic when you have a to-do list an arm length long. I know what it is. I know what it was. I was sharing how we interviewed this week for Homestead Rescue. It's really nothing new. We've interviewed for them a couple times before, various different degree of things. So the reason why we didn't get it, or we were still under contract, or yada yada. So, anyways, I was sharing with my mom, and she replied. She goes, "Do you guys need rescuing?" And what were you? We've never watched the show, y'all. We never watched the TV show, and because we don't have TV. Well, I was able to downstream some episodes on my computer through Discovery Plus that we were able to get for free with our phone, Verizon or something. I don't know how it worked, but we were able to get 6 months for free. Anyhow, I said, well, let's watch the show. And so we started watching it. Scooch up a little bit because it's hard to hear on the microphone up here. No, oop, scooch your butt. Scooch. No, not closer. Scooch. Yeah, there we go. What did you say to me in bed after we watched it? You were like, well, we have that. Well, we have that. Well, do we look that bad? Like, what were you saying?
I don't know the exact words, but
when you're watching the show, they make everything dramatic. They like the drama.
Yeah, they are able to narrate it and speak about your life in a way that makes it dramatic.
But they're rescuing homesteads, though. I mean, it's not like they're like Homestead Entertainment. It's called Homestead Rescue. And you don't think of someone who's, very productive and lucrative and functional and has all their ducks in a row is needing to be rescued. So they amplify the issues that any homestead has.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
yeah, that's it. So Timmy's like, so we're watching these, and we feel like our situation is unique. We feel like we're the only ones that are going through what we're going through. We feel like nobody else could be dealing with these issues but us, because we've never experienced it before, and we've never talked to anybody else doing what we're doing. And I looked for people, and that's why I created our groups that I created, because I wanted to meet other like-minded people so I could glean information. It wasn't because I felt like I had all this to offer people. I wanted to talk to people. And that's what I was thinking last night. I said, in my generation, or Timmy and I, neither of us were raised this way. We weren't raised on a farm. We weren't raised on a homestead. We weren't raised to be self-sufficient. We come from a very consumerism generation. And there isn't anyone for us to ask for guidance or help. I don't have farming. I have gardening. I don't have farming in my bloodline for at least 3 generations. I don't have any off-grid living in my bloodline for, except before electricity came about. So we need our community to glean information and to help us learn. Otherwise, we're always doing everything by trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we watched the show, it was a very aha moment. We're like, oh my gosh, they're in Tennessee. We're in Tennessee. Oh my gosh. They left the city. They left the beach at Florida. We left the beach at Myrtle Beach in South Carolina to move to the Smoky Mountains to live with our family. Oh my gosh. They have, and it was just like, well, they don't have running water. We don't have running water. They don't have, a septic system. We don't have a septic system. They don't have, good infrastructure for the animals. We don't have good infrastructure for our animals. So it was like, Well, first I was like, I felt that instant connection. I'm like, oh my gosh, other people are going through it too. This is good because we can watch the show and see how they figure it out. And then it was like, oh well, we're not special. We didn't invent the wheel, And I
Well,
knew we didn't invent the wheel, but
I mean, you can look at it like that. But then again, I mean, if you need help and
yeah,
they see,
that's what I said the first time.
yeah, I think that's, it doesn't matter if we have the same problem as someone else. If they see fit that
Oh,
we
you're
need
going at a
help,
different angle than I thought.
that.
So,
just if they've done it before and
well, they know how it works. But everybody's situation is different. I will say that.
Yeah.
Everybody's situation is different, even though we all have very similar things. And I said, well, they wouldn't be interested in us because we need the exact same thing they just did on season 6. But every story is different, even if you have some of the same common goals. So I sat there and resonated all night long on my mom asking me, how do we need to be rescued? And I'm like, who doesn't? Who doesn't need to be rescued?
especially this day and time.
Either from a horrible relationship or a horrible job, or that you haven't found Christ and you need, a Christian family to embrace you, or, you have issues with your teen kids, or, you have homestead issues, whether you're not making your money that you need to make from your homes. Who doesn't need to be rescued? I guess that's a bigger question. And so I started thinking about, because you don't ever ask for help.
Yeah, I guess that's a character
Defect.
with me.
Not only that, but when people try to help and they're not doing it how he wants them to do it, he is nipping at the bit to correct it as soon as they walk away. Even if it's like rolling something up or putting something, mind you, he is not the OCD of perfection for himself, just everybody else. Which is problematic when people want to help you on your homestead, because we do have offers, but Timmy knows that it wouldn't get done like Timmy would want to do it, so we decline. Go ahead.
What? I'm not going to say anything.
But so what happens if we get selected and they want to come in here and booger the place up?
Well, I don't think it could get any boogered up than it is now. I mean,
But would they booger it up in a different way than you would want to booger it up?
I guess.
Because we watch, if you guys ever watched Homestead Rescue, they don't make it posh and finished. They don't polish off a project. They like start it, erect the sides of the building, put some purlines in, and walk away. They'll grade the road, and then they'll just leave it a muddy mess. It's not a bad thing. They've got the people started. I mean, they've been able to provide people with labor and projects started that they weren't able to do on their own, which is great. And they use a lot of resources from the land, but they don't finish it. So you have to have the wherewithal, the means, and the energy to finish whatever projects that they start while they're here. Hang on, Tammy says it would take him longer to explain how to do things than do it himself. Tammy, that's what he would say.
Thank you, Tammy.
Do me a quick favor. Can you count me off, please, 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 please? It's really good this morning because I put hazelnut in it.
Yeah, I'm going to leave now.
No, you're going to come back because I'm switching the subject. I'm not going to talk about you. No, just a quick touch up. So then, y'all, we need to talk about two things this morning. If you guys are with me, we need to talk about how to make the stimulus work for your homestead, and our H2H project that has been in the makings for years. So anyhow, I have seen that the stimulus. Hey Tamara, how are you, sweetheart? Good morning. And Meg Fickle's missing this morning. We miss our little seed lady, Meg. Anyhow, I heard that the stimulus, that's crazy, that I don't support it whatsoever. But if the government wants to give me some of my money back, I'm not going to tell them no. I'm not going to put it back in the bank and send it back to them. I will in a certain way because we owe our property taxes, so they will get it back. But I think, especially for homesteaders or people that live off grid or people that have a farm or whatever, or just people in general, it would behoove you to make that money work for you. And how, I mean, it's like, don't go blow it. You know, if you have a debt looming over your head, pay that off. You know, if you have an outstanding loan or something, pay that off. Give to Caesar what is Caesar, you know. But the times are getting better. Prices are skyrocketing across the grocery stores, across the nation. And it'll be, yeah, there's like, oh, you're getting $1,400. $1.9 trillion is getting ready to be dispersed of either fake printed money or the American people's money. It's our money. But there's got to be a trickle down effect. So they've got to compensate for that somehow. And prices are going to rise. So you got to figure out is right now how to make that dollar stretch or how to reinvest it to help you make money. Is that starting up your own business? Is that investing in a way to produce more food? Is it a way to preserve food? You know, figure out where you guys are spending most of your money and try to use that stimulus to help cushion that area. And if you have a family, I know you're spending a bunch of money on food, unless you grow it all yourself, and then that way I tip my hat to you because we're not there. So things that we're hoping, we've got to talk. We're talking about investing in a water cistern because right now our water collection is tiny compared to what our needs are. We're also talking about investing in building our own greenhouse so we could increase food production. We have several issues with food production. One, we have clay soil, but the county offers free compost that we've used and we love it. They shut down for the whole year of COVID. So they've shut down for the year of COVID, but now they're back open. 2, we have nothing but mud because of all the flooding and the watershed. Yeah, baby. We only have one, and there's a yellow one, and I put it out there. I asked you where they were. So don't mess with that right now, okay? Go ahead and Lyndon, do what I asked you to do this morning about getting your breakfast. Here's my phone. Watch your keys for kids. We have a huge mud issue that if we could divert all of the watershed off the mountains, because our only flat area to grow stays under mud. And 3, our third issue growing, other than the soil and the mud, is the pigs get out of their fencing. There's one now, Hansel. He has become immune to the electric shock or something, or he knows the magic hatch that nobody else knows. But he gets out and destroys our gardens. And he's one of the boars that we want to sell. So it's not like we'll just shoot him and put him in the freezer. It's not as simple as that. And it's not an easy fix. We don't have flat land. We have 47 acres of mountains. And fencing that in is our goal. But again, I mean, it's Timmy, you know, and that's where we need to be rescued. We need labor. Because we have supplies here. We've got knowledge. We just don't have any able physical bodies to help accomplish a lot of these goals. So, but food production, that's why we were thinking greenhouse would definitely help. And then having a, what? Lyndon, Elaine? Go on and speak.
Strangers.
They're not strangers. They're friends and family. Tell her, y'all. Up here we have a garden, and the chickens have flown over our fence. Get out, Lyndon Lee. What are you getting? You're just gonna sit there and clear your throat all morning and speak.
Well, you're talking, and I didn't want to interrupt.
Well, go ahead and talk.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot that needs to be done.
Oh, wait, I got to catch you up because we're talking about how to make your stimulus work for you. Like, if you just blow the money, it's going to be gone. Don't take a vacation. Don't do that. You can go camping for free. Use the money, invest it wisely to help it make you money or to remove a debt that you have. But it says gas is going up. We're at $2.54 now. Grocery bill just kills us. Lyndon, Tammy said good morning. The grocery bill kills us too. We went yesterday just to get things for Morgan's birthday dinner, $150. And I'm like, how did this even happen? We don't have any. Did we have any meat? Oh, we had brats in there. Brats, that was it. I don't buy the most expensive item from the grocery store. We did buy batteries, AA and AAA because we needed them, and paper towels. And those 3 things were $40. 3 things, $40. It was $14.99 a piece for the batteries and $8.99 for the towels. So we're talking about how we want to invest the money. We said the water collection with a cistern and possibly a greenhouse.
Yeah.
There's other subjects on the docket, like things that we could do to try to make that money work for us. Could be investing in fencing so we can increase our livestock production and keep the livestock that we have safe. What's other ones? What other things that we were talking about? Wind energy. And the wind energy, how that makes it work for us in the future is we don't have to buy gas for a generator. Not that gas costs us that much, but it will.
Yeah, I mean, everything's going up, and I mean,
it'll go back up to $5 a gallon before too long.
Yeah, they'll make every bit back that they've discounted. As you know, when the gas prices go down, people buy it. They probably get more than they normally get, and then when the prices go back up, they make their money plus all the extra that people are going out getting because the gas prices are so low. So I mean,
Tammy said the burger I was buying for 10-pound rolls was $30. Now it's $41. Well, it's still 93. It's not organic or grass fed. It is insane. And you know what, Tammy? I was thinking about this the other day because we were picking up hay. I shared the picture with you from a friend of ours, and he was talking. I was getting milk from him, and he's not consistent though, so he doesn't really have a very good business. This is not business platform. What is it called? He just doesn't do very good business. He said has it one week and doesn't have another. And when you have a CSA customer who wanted me to buy a herd share, then you have to deliver when you say you're going to because your customers depend on you.
Yeah, he's just not consistent with being and having the product there that we need.
And it takes me an hour drive there and back to get it. So long story short, though, he was talking about he just purchased another heifer to put on his cow to raise for beef. And then I started thinking about how much it cost us to raise our livestock. And for a while, and it still is right now, it is not cost prohibitive to raise your own meat versus buying it at Walmart. It's not. I'm there. Right there. I said it. It costs more money to raise your own if you're going to raise them properly. Now, however, that said, if you have a large production and you are able to sell your surplus and you are able to monetize your homestead, now we're talking something different. But if you're just doing it for your own consumption, unless there is certain livestock that you can do that is cost prohibitive, and that would be things like rabbits or quail or something smaller of that nature. But as far as pigs and cows and all that, you can get it cheaper at Walmart. Not quality, it's not good, but I mean that's what I think is the misconception. A lot of people get this lifestyle. They're like, oh, I can raise all my own food and not have to work because I'm living off the land. Hay is so expensive. And if you can grow your own livestock food, like all of your hay and your grains, again, that's a different subject. I don't know how many people that can do that.
Yeah, I guess the people around here that have cows, they've got big grassy fields that they just
Graze on all day.
graze on.
But
all
Tommy
day.
don't. He buys that hay. So how is it cost
Well, I mean,
prohibitive for him?
they still have to have hay, and you do, give them.
Well, then he just talked about buying 900 pounds of corn.
Yeah.
So I mean, cows eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
And then he's got a donkey. So, but anyhow, that's neither here nor there. We're just talking about ways that we can help our stimulus make, provide work for us in the future. So if you guys have ideas, I would love to hear them. Especially like starting up your own business. Steve, I had mentioned it last time, got a freeze dry machine. Those are like $3,000. And freeze dry food and dehydrated food is pricey. I got my creams right here, just like snacking on them, y'all. But they're expensive and they're full of sulfites and other icky stuff. And if you have the ability to freeze dry and dehydrate and resell it, you make some good money. You make some good money in that stuff. And those freeze dried meals and all that they're expensive. And with the current stage of affairs, there's a lot of people getting into that, wanting to buy it, like the prepper store that we'll be putting our stuff at.
Yeah.
They've got a whole aisle of that stuff.
That's right. We'll dry you some prunes for
you. Anyhow, the other thing, speaking of the prepper store, I want y'all to pray for something. Okay? Wait. We have medical bills, debts, and some specific needs that we are balancing priorities. My dad's uncle had a hog with that issue. He'd back off from the electric fence and start squealing before he got to the fence and get out. He had to go to the freezer. Yeah, Tammy, this one we want to sell, so I'm hoping not to have to put him in the freezer. I'm hoping to make money off of them because they're the size that if somebody wants to buy them and butcher them right now, they'd fill their freezer. They're big enough. And we're not even selling it for the price that we should sell it. Like Sam said, $3 a pound on hoof. And then they can take it to their processor and pay to get it processed. That would be, I think the processor quoted us 60 cents a pound. Mm-hmm. So that'd be $3.60 a pound they'd be paying for pasture raised pork, which is a good price. Hey, good morning. Linda and Tammy said good morning. The other Tammy. Or Tamara. Sorry, Tamara. No, Tammy, isn't it? Right? Oh, I can't see. Oh, Tamara. Yeah, sorry. Tamara. Our friend in Texas. I've known her forever. Remember, I met her through Lori's website. And then Linda started selling those little press-on nail things with her.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I have to tell them backstories to get them remember everybody because it's so confusing. But yeah, grocery bills are killing us, and that's one of those things that Tamara, you got land, talk about doing the raised beds or whatever you can do to help cut those monthly costs because it's just going to get more and more expensive. So things to consider as far as the food production: get with other people, try to start a gleaners club. We had a gleaners club around here. In theory, it was wonderful. And it turned out to be like a PTO group of ladies. So, and they called it East Tennessee, but every meeting was in Central Tennessee. So I couldn't drive 4 hours to get a 20-pound box of potatoes. It just wasn't good for me. So maybe that's something that we can create over here. But that's a wonderful way, being a part of a Gleaners Club, to completely fill your pantry for free. But I want to talk about the Tennessee preparedness because I need to ask for prayers. Yes? So when we were back in Pawleys Island, if you're just joining our journey, God pressed something on Timmy's heart and gave you a vision about the mountains. What was it?
Well, I mean, there was a lot.
Not just where you were standing, what you were doing, overlooking the mountains. That one.
Yeah, I mean, that's finding peace with yourself and being able to get in the Word. And I think he wanted me to be in a place where I could focus more on him. So this, he gave me a vision of just
Where were you and what were you doing in
Me
the
standing
vision?
there with a Bible and having the mountains, in the background.
And what were
So,
you doing?
well, I'm not sure if I was preaching, but I was
Sharing,
sharing the word. But
sharing your faith.
yeah, sharing my faith.
So then I had in my heart, now God gave Timmy this vision and this drive. I just followed my husband because I know how God works. On my heart, 4 cabins. And I'm just like, oh, we'll have little like bed and breakfast and we can teach classes and more of like a workshop type stay here, play here thing. And then after we moved here, within the year while we were building our house, we're just in the middle of it, I think. No, we had finished, but we haven't moved up yet. I got introduced to this woman. You guys need to look her website up. It's called Enchanted Makeovers. Terry Grawl is a friend of mine, and she's a wonderful sister in Christ, and she has a wonderful mission. And she just hooked up with Macy's department store as well as several others. She's been in several magazines, on TV all over. And she created this nonprofit business that goes into women's shelters and makes them over and empowers women and teaches them how to sew. And she used to be an interior decorator, and God placed on her heart to shut her lucrative business down and start this nonprofit. And then now she's doing capes for kids and pillows with purpose. And then I can't remember what her stuffed animal one is, but it's all part of Enchanted Makeovers. So anyway, she empowers kids to find their own hero in themselves. And then the dolls, it's just, if you love to sew, you should look it up and see if you can volunteer somehow because it's a wonderful, wonderful outreach program. Well, was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago, we were talking and we were just getting to know each other. And at the end, I said, well, Terry, it's been great talking to you and hearing your testimony. I'm not quite sure how we can ever collaborate together, but, give me a call if you figure it out. So before the end of the call, she goes, do 4 cabins mean anything to you? And I'm like, huh? And she goes, well, God's just telling me something about 4 cabins. And I'm like, I'm starting crying because, God works like that. And she said, have you ever considered building some cabins for homeless women? And I'm like, no, but I was like, this, touches. So we just started talking. It just started rolling. And I said, I actually used to be homeless. I was a single mom and I couldn't afford Bruce kind of had custody. He didn't have custody of Gavin, but he was raising Gavin because he wasn't working at the time and I was working 3 jobs and I couldn't afford a place for me to live and for my son. So I paid for Gavin to have a place to live while I worked and lived out of my van. And I know what it was like. And so I shared that little bit that she didn't know about me. And anyhow, so I told Timmy, talked to him about it, and he didn't even hesitate. He said, yes. Yeah. I'm like, don't you want to pray? Nope. He goes, yep, this is it. The moment we got here, Timmy said, this land isn't just for us. What kind of other things did you say?
Well, I mean, at the time, I think we were talking about rentals and stuff and having,
like a B&B.
Yeah.
Or, like a homestead B&B.
But, as mull things over and think about it, and then you really see, the importance of, reaching out and helping others and having them a place to go. So, I mean, if you can do something like that and help somebody instead of just trying to get a paycheck out of it, or, I think it,
Well, so we talked about it, but
I mean, Tennessee, people they need help, man. I mean, this is
everywhere.
a rough place, and there's a lot of homeless people.
So we talked about it, and we said we created this project called like the H2H, Homeless to Homestead, where instead of just giving fish, we teach to fish. So all of those homestead skills we talked about earlier on in coffee that are lost over decades because we don't have no one to teach us, and they dang sure don't do it in school anymore, is to offer a place where women would come to learn to sew, to cook, to garden, to chop wood, to live independently. She goes by Tammy. Thanks, Tammy. um, and self-sufficiently. So anyhow, God gave us that, but we didn't have the means. We didn't have the manpower. We don't have the finances. We still don't have either of those things. But if God gives you a calling, He doesn't change His mind. He doesn't make it go away. Either you weren't obedient or it wasn't His timing. Bottom line. And so, anyways, instead of persevering and pushing through, I panicked when I looked at her bank account. I stopped. I stopped talking to Terry about it. I stopped planning it. I stopped talking to others about it. And I went to work at Dollywood. So here we are 2 years in the future. Our finances have not changed and our manpower hasn't changed. But I was at Tennessee Readiness talking to them about selling my products in their store. And they loved them and we all clicked and they were Christian and they shared their testimony with me about how they got the store. So I shared a little bit about our land and the vision that Timmy had on the mountain about standing there overlooking the mountain with the Bible in his hand, sharing his faith. And they're like, they hit each other and they're like, Prayer Mountain, Prayer Mountain. I'm like, huh? I've never even heard of Prayer Mountain. It's a thing. There's a couple of them actually. So you got to look up the right one. And I don't know which one that is. But they're like, we've been praying and waiting for our own Prayer Mountain. God's told us just to be patient. And they're like tearing up. We're all excited. And I'm like, I still don't even know what Prayer Mountain is, other than the fact that it's a place where people gather to pray. And there's all different denominations and different walks of faith, all believing in Christ, though, not like Buddhists and stuff. And they all get together and pray. And then I started talking about those 4 cabins, and the one cousin just started tearing up. And they're like, let me tell you something. A cop friend of ours came in here the other day when we were closed and started asking if we knew of any place at all for these 2 homeless women where they could stay. They were drug addicts. They were clean for 6 months and they just needed a place for a fresh start. And so then right then, a stranger walked into their business and it turned out he was a preacher who had lost his way. And he said he felt like he lost his calling and he was in Gatlinburg visiting his son from God. So the cop, the preacher, and these 2 ladies just started praying over these women and for there to be a solution in this area to help people like them. And so we're going to get together and talk again Tuesday. But I got home and I told Timmy, he said, God hasn't forgot that calling that He placed on our hearts. He hasn't forgotten H2H. We did, so it just wasn't the timing or it was my stubbornness. And I know we're talking way too long this morning. I'm sorry, y'all. I meant to talk about this earlier, but I need your prayers because we're meeting Tuesday. We're not qualified. We don't have the means. We don't have the manpower. God doesn't call the qualified. But this is the kicker. Wait. Let me finish. So this is the kicker. When I was working with Terry on this, she said one thing. Every shelter that we work on has to have a sewing room because that's her passion. Teaching women how to sew. I said, I don't know how to sew. I mean, I can mend something. But I said, great. And then so I'm telling these ladies about Terry, and they started again. The one cousin just inherited or bought or purchased or picked up 14 sewing machines and had no idea what to do with them. And she said that she's had on her heart for years. They've had that business, I think, for 3 or 4 years now, that she wanted to teach the women in the community how to make a quilt and that they all work together making one square to make this quilt. And we were both, I had to go because I had plans, but we were there talking. And it was just, you could feel God working and right there, just making all of these little light bulbs go off. So I'm excited. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I know sometimes it takes a little while for God to, bring people together
and put all the puzzles to get pieces together.
So, I mean, you just,
Well, the cool thing about these ladies is we actually met them indirectly almost 3 years ago. I in my Homestead group, I had free Dollywood tickets and offered them, and she replied, said, "Hey, but instead of going into business, I had Gavin run in because we were going somewhere else and just drop off the tickets. I never met them, and I've always wanted to meet them ever since. I don't know why I hadn't. We just hadn't. So just out of the blue, I contacted them and we met, and here we are. So I think it's a wonderful thing, and I just think that was part of me thinking last night about us all needing to be rescued. We all need a homestead rescue. And our job, because it's skipped so many generations, is to pass on the knowledge that we know. Why? Because people are completely codependent and they are struggling and they need to see there's another way. There we go. I gotta let you guys go. We gotta prep for Morgan's birthday. And I've sat and talked to y'all way too long. I'm so sorry to manipulate your Morgan. Your Morgan. Your more Morgans in my brain. Your morning like this, but when we don't talk for a week and so much happens, you just kind of get a little chatty. How are you? This is cold now.
Yeah, man. It's cold.
Are you good?
I'm good. Iced coffee.
All right. You guys have a blessed day.
Thanks for putting up with us.
Thank you.